Did you see the Ross Tucker head coaching rankings? Did you see where he
Yeah.
ranked him? He's got Shanahan 6. I don't really take offense to 6 because there's a lot of good coaches. I think if you actually if you frame the question differently, if the question were framed with if every NFL coach today were a free agent, who would get the biggest contract? I think it would probably be Kyle Shanahan. I mean, I know Andy Reid is considered to be the best coach. Maybe Bill Belichick, if you want to go Belichick, based on full career. But those guys are older. Shanahan's younger. That factors in. I think that Shanahan, to have Sirianni at 5, who was an offensive coordinator for 3 seasons in Indianapolis. They never had a top 10 offense, let alone top 5 when he was there. Then with a team that was a loaded roster, they make it to the Super Bowl. They're the favorites in the Super Bowl. They blow a 10-point lead at halftime and lose to the Chiefs. But Sirianni's now, according to Ross Tucker, a top 5 NFL coach in front of Shanahan, in front of Sean McVay, who's won a Super Bowl, in front of John Harbaugh, who's won a Super Bowl, in front of Doug Peterson, who's won a Super Bowl, in front. I mean, no. So to me, that was Ross Tucker is probably based in the Northeast somewhere because he had Sirianni of the Eagles too high at 5, and then he had Brian Daboll, who I think's a nice coach, but what the heck's Brian Daboll ever won? They got Brian Daboll super high too. So I would say my guess on that is that Tucker's kind of a Northeast guy, has Northeast connections, and in the Northeast way of thinking, Sirianni and Daboll are stars. And I think that's putting the cart before the horse just a tad. I like Sirianni. I'm not saying I wouldn't have him in the top 15, but 5 overall in front of a bunch of coaches that have been to multiple Super Bowls or won Super Bowls. Ross Tucker, let's pump the brakes. Or maybe it's Ross Tucker Sirianni. Maybe he's related to Sirianni somehow.
No, I'm pretty sure that you're right on that. I think Ross Tucker's from like the Philadelphia area. I think he's in the Pennsylvania area. So he's in that area. I didn't think too much about that in terms of where Sirianni was ranked as a head coach based on the way that his team has performed in his 2 seasons as a head coach in Philadelphia. He turned them around real quick, got them to a playoffs in year 1, got to the Super Bowl in year 2. So from that standpoint, I don't have a problem with him being where he is. I'd look more at like the Sean Payton at being number 3 right now. I'm not sure if Sean Payton deserves to be at the number 3 spot. This is the guy who won, he had a top level quarterback that he inherited, I believe, when he took the job in New Orleans. In Drew Brees, or maybe they joined together. He had
why is Sean Payton's singular Super Bowl more impressive than Sean McVay's singular Super Bowl?
Right, and the Sean Payton one, I don't get him necessarily being at number 4. That doesn't make sense to me. The Daboll and Brian Daboll being ranked ahead of Pete Carroll, I don't agree with that one either. I think Pete Carroll's a better head coach than Brian Daboll. He did a really good job last year. He's completely turning that Seattle team around after getting rid of Russ Wilson. So I don't agree with that one either. But in terms of Sirianni, I personally, from a football perspective, I really like what Sirianni does. I like the fact that he is just he's relatively basic when it comes to what he tries to do on offense, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Basically, hey, we're going to line up and we're going to do these things at a high level, but not do too much. And it allows his team to play fast and physical. And I like that part of what he does.